Why hello there SE Nation, welcome back to another video. We hear a lot of things about sales engineering and sales engineers, what they do. We hear sales engineers described as the technical resource, as if we're some kind of encyclopedia where someone can ask us a question and we'll just come up with the answer. We're a Google search bar. I've heard sales engineers are failed engineers, so that's a myth that I've heard in the past. Sales engineers are failed engineers. Why? Is it because we decided to do something different? I haven't met a single sales engineer who is not very well versed technically in whatever it is that they do. Just because they decided to do something with sales in the title doesn't mean they're failed engineers. There's a different set of skills required by one over another. It doesn't mean that sales engineers don't have the skills that made them engineers to begin with. They're not failed engineers, they just decided to do something different. I've heard SEs being referred to as the guy who's going to do the demo. There's a lot of different things that we are referred to. And when we talk about sales engineering, we talk about doing discovery calls, hopefully doing demos, doing proof of concepts. But there are so many other things that sales engineers do that no one ever talks about. These are the secret things that we do, although they're not so secret. Everybody should know about it. And if you're not doing them, then you should start doing them maybe. Here's the thing. On top of being able to do discovery and to do demos, sales engineers, I would think of them as spies or insiders, and I mean that in the best way possible. We get to work hand in hand with the customer, with the engineers from the customer's side. We get to see things differently. We're not just talking to people, we're performing, we're working together for a goal, which enables us to understand their needs, their requirements, way better than just talking to them about what they need. We're seeing it, and then we can relay that information to whoever we think needs to know that information, whether it's the account manager or the product manager or marketing. Like, hey, look at this, the customer is doing this, which is pretty cool. We can market that. So not many people can get that information. Account managers definitely can't. In my industry, account managers are not allowed on a site without escort. And I don't know what about other industries, but I assume it's the same. Whereas sales engineers, they're allowed in. I have a badge to every single one of my customer sites, and I can walk in and do whatever I want, whenever I want. Except going to the labs, which I don't want to go in there. It's very noisy. So in addition to being insiders or spies, we are translators. We take complex ideas and we explain it to different audiences in different ways. If we're not doing that, we should be doing that, because different audiences understand it in different ways. You've seen these videos on YouTube, I don't know if you have, but you can look it up, where a scientist explains the same topic to a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a high schooler, university student, a PhD. And we have to do the same thing. Luckily, we're not dealing with 5-year-olds, but we are dealing with people with different knowledge base, whether it's technical or business. And we need to be able to explain it. Not only that, we have to translate these complex ideas to our account managers, so that when our account manager is talking to the customer, they sound like they know what they're talking about, and they're actually able to explain any proposals that they came up with. We are insiders, we are translators, we're also testers. It's not in our title, but how many SEs have actually found a bug or 2 or 10 while preparing for a demo or proof of concept? Not only have we found a bug and filed a report for it to get it fixed, we've also found workarounds, or at least worked with engineers to find workarounds, so that we can actually show our customer what the product does. And if the customer decides to pilot it, we have to provide those workarounds and work with them so that they don't get stuck at where we found the bugs. So we're not only are we testers, we're problem finders and problem solvers, all at the same time. Sales engineers are storytellers. When I first got into sales engineering, no one ever told me about telling a story. But you can tell the difference. If you're going to buy a car and someone tells you this car will take you from point A to point B, versus someone telling you about an experience one of their customers has had in the car, whether it doesn't get ruined or they went on a road trip with the sunroof open, the windows open, they had the best time of their lives. It gets different results, different emotions from the customer. One is using their heads, one's using their hearts. And as sales engineers, we need to be able to reach to more than their heads. We also need to be able to reach their hearts, which is why great sales engineers are great storytellers as well. We are accelerators. That storytelling enables us to speed up the sales process. My guest in an upcoming podcast talks about how she used stories to reduce the number of pilots she had to run. Also, there are other things that we do that either prolong the sales cycle or reduce it. If we need to provide a customer with a solution and we provide them solution A, B, and C, and D, these are your options, versus providing solution A, best option, B, second best option. You're removing a lot of decision making that needs to happen. One of my VPs of sales in former companies told me, don't show them the entire fruit basket. If they need an apple, sell them an apple. Not if they need an apple, offer them an orange and an apple and a pear and they get to choose. No, sell them what they need. And good SEs do that, which reduces the sales cycle because now there is no decision fatigue. Another thing sales engineers are, in general, is we are fighters. And I don't mean we fight with people, I mean we fight for people, for situations. We fight for our organization, for our account manager. More importantly, we fight for our customers. We work with account managers to get the customers what they need in terms of solutions. We don't just give up. If a customer tells you, I need features A, B, and C, and you only have A and B, you don't give up. You fight for a solution that has either A, B, and C, or you fight for the customer to understand the benefits of having A, B, and C, knowing that not every solution has all these features. Another guest on an upcoming podcast had to fight not to be part of a discovery call. He had to fight to have a discovery call as part of the process to begin with. And he fought for the better of the company. He's now able to close more deals because he knows what to show them in terms of demos, which means we're also speeding up the process. We're accelerating the process. And if you're a sales engineer who does not fight for something, you're most likely not the most successful sales engineer out there. If you're okay with the status quo, that means you're never going to improve. You're never going to get a salary raise. You're never going to help a customer properly beyond just superficially providing what they think they want or need. SEs are also servant leaders. We don't have any reportees, most of us. There are some SE managers who have reportees, but SEs in general are lowest on the totem pole of engineers. They're equivalent to any other engineer in the company. Yet we have to influence so much more, we have to help so much more, and we have to guide people so much more. We have to guide customers, we have to guide account managers in terms of the solution, the technology, what's the best way to go. We have to guide product managers, and we have to lead them to do different things. You're leading up the chain all the time. So that's why we are servant leaders. We do a lot of work in order to lead our colleagues to help them get what they want as well. Sales engineers are workhorses. Long hours are the norm. Spending time at night to learn a new technology, to learn a new product, to learn a new skill, to work on a demo, to work on a proof of concept. These are things we do consistently on a week-to-week basis. It's not a one-off, it's not a once a month, it's a consistent basis thing. And like a workhorse that used to work the farm, they did the plowing. The account manager would do the planting, buying the seeds, the planting, and the harvesting, but the horse is the one doing the plowing. And that's the heavy lifting that we have to do. We carry a lot on our shoulders, and if we do it right, there comes a point where the account manager doesn't really have to ask for the PO. The customer just saw what it's used for, and they want to buy the solution. We are negotiators. Every time we open our mouth, can either win a deal, lose a deal, add value to the deal, reduce value to the deal. If you spend the entire demo apologizing for the things that the product cannot do, you're reducing the value of the product. You're negotiating in a negative way. If you spend the demo showing the value of the product, or the discovery, planting the seed of the value of the product, proof of concept, whatever it is, the more you show the value of the product, the easier it is for the account manager to negotiate. And the more power that the account manager has to negotiate. So some people think that it's not our job to negotiate, but we are negotiating. Every word we say is a negotiation. And every word we say can be used against us, or we can use it to convince the customer. We're not telling the customer, no, we'll not take less than X amount of dollars. But we are telling them this solution is worth X amount of dollars, and then you should take it because you'll get back X times 100 or X times 10 or X times 5, whatever it is, the number that works for your company. The last one on my list is we are innovators. Sure, we have a solution, we sell it. More often than not, we have a bunch of different products that may or may not work together that we have to combine to work with the customer. We have to come up with solutions for the customers that maybe we don't already have. We come up with brand new solutions based on the customer requirements. This is not to take away from any other engineer who's actually designing software, designing hardware. There are two different kinds of innovations. I find those who are developing hardware and software focus on their area and innovate within this area. SEs can innovate within a wider area, can innovate in combining what this brilliant engineer did with somebody else's brilliant work into one solution to provide it to their customer. So there's a lot more to sales engineering than demos and discoveries. There's all these little ticky-tack things that we should do, we should get better at. And if you're doing it, good for you. If you're not doing it, maybe you should start looking into it. If you are doing it and nobody sees it, maybe you should send them this video, let them know the amount of work that you're doing for them, for them to provide food for their family as much as you are providing food for your family. So that's it for me, guys. If you like this, well, I'm just glad that you like it. I will see you next time.